Good morning, second grade, and welcome to language class. We had this morning about quotations again, and you've learned about quotations before. They are exact words of a speaker, and you know those little marks that curl around what the exact person was saying. Well, that's a little bit more what we're having about today. Let's first of all do some review here before we go any further on the lesson. So we have today about syllables again, dividing words in syllables. We have apple here. So when we have a double consonant, you will divide between the two double consonants. Baby, it's a long vowel in baby, so you will need to go right after the long vowel because it's long enough. Under, U is a short vowel, so you will need to go after the consonant. Washer, we have a root word here with a suffix, so you will go after the root word. Feather this is a short vowel, and we do not divide consonant digraphs, so you will not divide the TH, so you need to go after the TH. And here we have reason. Reason is a long vowel. So you will need to go after the long vowel. Okay. Yeah, let's look at this. Let's think about compound sentences now a little bit. Compound sentences are two sentences that are joined together into one big sentence, and they have little words like and, but, and or to join the two sentences together. Also, they must have a comma in the sentence, so don't forget your comma. Let's look here for an example on the board. We have Jack caught a fish, but it got away. So it's a compound sentence because Jack caught a fish would be one sentence and it got away would be another sentence, but they joined it with the word but, and also they put a comma in, so don't forget your comma. Commas always go just before that little word in the compound sentences. And also we have about adding describing words to a phrase. So sometimes we have short sentences and we want to make them sound even more interesting. So sometimes then we will add describing words. Describing words make them sound more interesting. Or we will also tell when or where this thing happened. So let's look here on the board for this sentence, and it says Clara read. Well, Clara read is kind of a boring sentence because it doesn't have enough of describing words in it, and also it does not tell where she read or when she read. So we could make it more interesting by saying, well, an example would be Clara read an interesting new book in the library. Clara read a small old book at home. Clara read a new book under the tree. Just anything. You could just use your imagination and just come up with a lot of different things, different describing words, and also different places of where Clara read or when. We could also tell when she read, like yesterday or today. We could add those words into, or this afternoon or something like that. And that just makes our sentences more interesting when we add those words to it. Okay, let's think a little bit about statements and questions. So statements are, what is the difference between a statement and a question? Well, statements state a fact, like we would say, and they tell us something, and also they end with a period, like we could say, Wilson helped the twins to find their toys. Or we could say for a question asks and it ends with a question mark. So we could say, will Elijah kick the ball out 100 feet? And so also we will need to talk about books and titles. So how is your book report coming? I hope it's coming pretty good. I'm just going to show you some new books, different books, and we're going to take time to look at titles and also authors. Do you remember what an author is? An author is the person that wrote the book. So let's just take some time here. I've got some different books here. This one is Always Face a Panther. That's the title. And it is compiled by Ruth K. Hobbs. Now, she's one that writes stories for your reading usually, you know, those good stories in reading sometimes. Well, Ruth K. Hobbs, she's a pretty good story writer, and that's who wrote that book. Okay, then we have this one. It's called Leopard Glue and Cannibal Country, and it is written by Charles Ludwig. Also, we have this one I got back in the library, back here too at school, and it is The Adventures of Tom Sawyer is the title. And here is the man that wrote it, which would be Mark Twain. So yeah, there's just all kinds of different books out there that we can read, and interesting books and good books. And it sure makes our life more interesting when we can read. And so I would encourage you to, this summer, just read a lot of different books. It makes you smarter, and it keeps your brain active. And yeah, okay, so let's look here on the, going back to today's lesson now, you may open up your light units. If you don't have them open yet, you may open up your light units to lesson 3, and we have about quotations. So I'm going to read that teaching box there on top of the page before we go any further. So it says quotations. When you write exactly what someone said, it is called a quotation. When you write a quotation, start it with a capital letter. Put quotation marks before and after the words the person said. And they have an example there for us. It says, I found the screwdriver, Luke said to Dad, but I don't know where the hammer is. So now the quotations in that sentence are the exact words of Luke. So, I found the screwdriver. You have quotation marks curled around there, so those are the exact words of Luke. And also, he said, but I don't know where the hammer is. Those are also the exact words of Luke, and they also have quotation marks around them. Okay, so let's look here on the board, and we have number 2 here. It says, I need my library book, said John, and I can't find my bat. So where do we put quotation marks in that sentence? We would curl it around the exact words of John. So he started talking here with, I need my library book, and there's where we put the others. Said John is not the words that he said, so we will just leave that. And then he started speaking here again with I can't find my bat, so we'll just put quotation marks around there again. Okay, so yeah, follow your directions for today. It should be fairly easy because you've had this before already. So yeah, you will do part A, and then let's look down here at the jellyfish word. It says quotation, the exact words someone says. So remember that quotation is the exact words somebody said. All right, let's now go to creative writing. So for today, you will work some more on your book report. I hope it's going good for you. Today you will again read your book for at least 15 minutes. Take time to read through your book for at least 15 minutes today again. And then you will write. It says in creative writing there, you may turn your page to creative writing, which is on page 10. And it says that you will write where the story happened. So each story usually happens in a certain place. And so now this story that you are writing about surely happened in a certain place. And probably by now you would have read about where the place is, or kind of having an idea, like, yeah. And so you will write down where the story happened in that blank there where they give you a place to write it down. Let's go on to penmanship. And today you will be reviewing the L and the G and the Z. Let's just do them here on the board again, just to refresh our minds. So the capital L, you start here on the middle line and go up like this and make a loop and slant back down here, like that. Remember to keep your letters at a slant again, your penmanship letters. Try to remember to keep them at a nice slant, because penmanship letters are not supposed to be straight. So try to remember as you're writing penmanship, try to keep them slanted like penmanship should be. And let's make a G now, so the G's go like this. And then the Z's go like this. Okay, and let's take time to look at the sentence that you will be writing today. Today the sentence says, Lee Good fed the tiger at the St. Louis Zoo. So again, try to remember to form your letters correctly, and if you're not sure, take time to look back, because now you're in training to write penmanship. So when you're training to do something, be careful that you do it the right way so that you grow up to do it the right way. All right, so yeah, be really careful with that. Remember to have good posture and sit CLE, and yeah, just have good posture as you write your penmanship. Also, hold your pencil correctly, and yeah, all those things will help you to be a good writer someday. All right, let's go to spelling now. So in spelling, we're talking about suffixes today. Again, I'm just going to go over some suffix rules with you. We have number 9, 10, and 11 today we're for sure going to look at. So number 9 right here, it says, when a word ends with FE, change FE to VE and add S. Like knife, it ends with FE, so you will need to change the FE to V and add ES. Number 10 says, when a word ends with F, change F to V and add ES. Like leaf, it ends with F, so we want to make it more than one leaf, so we will need to change the F to V and add ES, as in leaves. And then number 11 says, when a word ends with FF, add S. So we have cuff, it ends with FF, so you just add a plain S on there. Okay, let's look a little bit at the words here on the board. So if you look up here on the top and then on the bottom, I would have written the plural form. Life is lives, wife is wives, wolf is singular, wolves is plural, knife is singular, knives are plural, loaf is singular, loaves are plural, leaf is singular, leaves are plural, calf is singular, calves are plural, cliff is singular, cliffs is plural, sniff is singular, sniffs is plural, shelf singular, shelves plural, puff singular, and puffs plural. All right, today you have a crossword puzzle in your spelling, so yeah, you will again be doing a crossword puzzle. So remember, crossword puzzles, you just follow you go down to like, okay, so it says across, and so you will read number 2, across, more than one life, and look in your spelling words to see what more than one life means. More than one life, it looks like it would be lives. So then you will find number 2 that goes across and put one letter per blank and go make sure you're going across, because this one's across. If sometimes you're stuck with one, you can always move on to another one, like to the next one. Sometimes that helps, and then that kind of gives you a little bit of a clue what your word will be. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna let you work out your lesson. Be careful to follow your directions carefully, and don't forget to work on your book report.